So with those injuries, Coach, you have any ideas about Shaq for this weekend?
I'm sorry.
For Shaq this weekend, do you have any outlook for right now?
I would say very doubtful at this point.
Okay.
How did Stephon look?
I haven't seen the tape yet, just beginning to move around and get started. So he's limited. We'll see how he responds today and see how he felt.
Coach, the injury that Zeisser suffered this past Sunday with a hamstring, what was different with his hamstring that made you guys react immediately with the IR for him versus the situation with Christian where you guys waited a couple weeks before you put him on IR?
Yeah, we obviously don't compare injuries. Each one's different. They go in and they usually MRI them and see what grade they are, and then make a decision based off that. Zylstra, I'd say this Brandon Zylstra, what he did in this past game, was really one of the tougher things I've seen someone do. He had a 2+ hamstring strain, and it's going to be several weeks. But he finished the game. He was out at the end of the half, came back in the second half, and just gutted through it. He caught the pass to take us down to the 4-yard line to get that first score, to get back into the game. Just a tough person to play through that whole. And obviously, we're not asking guys to play. He just wanted to keep playing. Crushed the other day, but he'll be back. He's a really good player. So, just the severity of that strain, based off the MRI and the doctors, and everything, he'll be several weeks.
How much was Stephon able to do? I know you said limited, but would you get to see?
Yeah, we set a rep count for him, and just did individual drills, and then set a rep count for him of reps. So he had a good amount, but just had to wait and see how he responded to football movements. His first time moving with us.
If he progresses as planned, would the hope be Sunday?
I think obviously I'd love to have him play Sunday. Will he play? Will he not play? I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to depend on. When you get guys like he and AJ, those guys, Shaq, they've been playing a while. They know their bodies. We really trust them to tell us what they can do. At the same time, making sure our doctors and trainers and return to play people are saying that it's safe. So he's got like a checklist of things he needs to do to get back on the field. Same thing with Shaq, Justin Burris, and all those guys. So we're just trying to check off those things and get them back. Hopefully at some point we'll have a lot of really good players coming back here soon.
Man, what are your expectations of Stephon? 2019 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and 2020 kind of struggled. But what are your expectations of him for this defense and for this team?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get him healthy right now. I think one of the worst things you do to football players is you have expectations based upon what they did in the past. You start evaluating guys against what they get paid. You start evaluating guys against where they got drafted. Everybody's on our team. We have a standard for how we want guys to play. Preparation and effort, attention to detail. As you can see last Saturday, I'm really not concerned about any one player right now. It's about all of us, the entire team, coaching staff, everybody. We've got to play way better football. That was not anywhere where we want to play. So, if we get some guys back to help us, great, but it doesn't really matter. Whoever's available helps us. So, Stephon's a guy on the team, and he's done a lot of great things. I love having him around. I just want him to go play football. It's what he does really well, and whenever he's ready, he'll play.
Have you seen any? Do you expect Pat Elfline?
Yeah, I don't think Pat will be ready this week. I don't think Pat will be ready.
Man, go ahead.
Where's CJ in relation to Keith and kind of the rest of the secondary, or is he still kind of working his way back in?
Yeah, CJ, obviously hurt his shoulder against Philadelphia. Practiced last week. We didn't feel ready to put him in last week with the shoulder. I think he'll be ready to go this week. Like anything, every time I say something with injuries, I'm very hesitant because I never know how people are going to respond to practice. But I would anticipate CJ having a chance to play this week.
Can you speak a little bit on Daniel Jones and what you see on tape?
I had a chance to coach against Daniel when he was at Duke, and we were at Baylor. Saw it then, you see it now. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. I think they're number one in the NFL in terms of no huddle. Not 2-minute situations, but just no huddle. So that always is a quarterback who's making a lot of checks, getting up to the line of scrimmage. Obviously, you can tell that he's smart, getting in the right plays. I think he's an excellent quarterback. I've seen that firsthand. And so obviously, a local guy. I know a lot of people I know speak the world of him. And you see them have some really great moments. That game against the Saints, you see that's an excellent football team playing really good football, coming from behind and finding a way to win. So they do a lot with him: quarterback, zone read game, run game, RPO game, drop back game. They'll do it all. And he's a guy that we have to try to keep in the pocket, much like Jalen Hurts and some of those guys we faced.
You mentioned the no huddle as part of your own possible progression with this offense. without giving up the ghost, is that something you're looking more at this week to try and see if that is something you want to implement just outside of 2 men?
If I said yes, then I'd be giving up the ghost. No, I mean, I don't think, we're not, we have different facets of our offense, right? And obviously not playing real well right now. So I don't think it's about reinventing everything that we're doing. I think it's just about us playing really good football and protecting. Guys, we're not gonna. You guys know what I know. We're not gonna win if we turn the ball over 3 times. So it's, you could say it's what is it? Well, it's protecting the football, not having a ton of penalties. I think we're running the ball. When we do get them, we run the ball well. It's just hard to run when you're getting penalties. And so my whole thing right now is it's not about what we're doing; it's how we do it. We have got to play good football, and we did not play good football. And there's a lot of questions about the offense. Defense did not play good football on Sunday. The special teams played okay football on Sunday. So we've got to play really good football this Sunday to go get a win on the road. And that starts with me. I've got to be way better this week, coaches and players. So we're always looking for advantages and all those things, but at the end of the day, it's really about how we do what we do.
When you look at this Giants offense, I know you just talked about Jones, and obviously Saquon is out. They've got some of your receivers dinged up. But do you still view them as a dangerous offense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, and they have guys coming back. They have guys back. The other day, they have so much skill, so much speed. They have John Ross, they have Sterling Shepard, they have Darius Slayton, they have Kenny Galladay. They have a bunch of guys who can make a ton of plays. They have a skill. They run the ball well. They're in the no huddle, which always puts pressure on you. So they can absolutely hurt you. And they scored quickly to take the lead against the Saints. It was 2017 and 17-14 or 2017, excuse me for not remembering, against the Cowboys late in the third quarter. So this is going to be an absolute dogfight, and we'll have to play our best to win.
Matt, did Elfline have a setback?
Yeah, you hurt in the weight room. Just was fully coming along. Practice last week, was in the weight room yesterday. Still feels it. So I would probably characterize it. Yeah, probably a little bit of a setback. Nothing. I don't think anything. Hopefully not major, but just not work. We thought he'd be able to practice today and wasn't able to go.
Still the hammy?
Yes, still does.
And not that you want to see anybody get hurt, but does it make it a little easier to tolerate based on kind of the good reviews you gave Jordan the other day?
Yeah, I think Michael did some really good things. He also gave up a couple sacks. So Michael has to be more consistent in what he's doing. He's kind of joining us late in the year and helping us. He plays with an edge that we like. He has to be better in pass pro. We've got a bunch of guys who played. We just need everyone to play their best. Trenton's played a lot of football. We trust him. Dennis Daly's played a lot. Brady has gotten a start. We just need all of us just to play a little bit better.
Monday you said that you guys aren't panicking. How do you balance not panicking but having a sense of urgency given the losing streak?
So if I'm coaching differently now because we're 0-3, then I wasn't worth a darn before. If I'm working differently now because we're 0-3 in the last 3 games, I wasn't worth a darn before. So I think when we were 3-0, if you guys sensed me, I wasn't super happy. I was kind of like, this is what we're doing well. There's still a lot of bad things, and now we've lost 3. There's some things we're doing well that we're not. So I'm just trying to get the football right. There's a lot of, as I said, there's a lot of teams that are 3-3. It's really about how you define who you are right now and improve and get better. So, I like to think, I hope that if you went back and listened to like a press conference with me at any point, you'd always hear me say this sort of the same things, right? I want us to improve. I want us to try to win every week, go 1-0. I want us to tell the truth after games. This is what we're doing well, not doing well. I would say I'm frustrated after this last game because it just wasn't good football, and it's got to just be better. That being said, we're getting a lot of effort, and if we can just fix a couple things, I think we can have a really good team. And but these aren't setbacks, and I don't think about streaks necessarily. That's not the way my mind works. To me, this is all part of a process of building something really special. Is you go through ups and downs. The adversity reveals the things that are wrong. All that being said, I can promise you I have an unbelievable sense of urgency, if that's the word, and I'm not very tolerant of losing. And just because I come here and I try to put perspective on it does not mean that I'm tolerating it at all. And I would say that our coaches are the same way and our players are the same. Our players, we don't have losers on this team. They do not want to lose. Sometimes when you lose, though, it does teach you what it takes to win. Talking about how many sacks, like a couple weeks ago, we were talking about golf carts for sacks, and I was kind of like, I don't care about that, because let's talk about let's talk about not giving up big plays. Let's talk about not being 26th in the NFL in the red zone. Those are the things I've been pretty consistent about. So when we get back to winning, and I'm kind of not real buzzy about all those cool, is because I know that these things in the NFL are just so even, they're so close, and we have to eliminate the things that are causing us to lose, and it's turnovers, it's penalties, it's big plays on the. We gave up 9 plays of over 20 yards this week. We haven't done that at all this year, so there's a sense of urgency here. I can promise you.
How creative will you have to be with the wide receiver rotation this week, given a lot of injuries on the depth?
Yeah, I mean, we're down to 3. You know, Shi Smith went from being a guy that was, you know, inactive to he's active this past week to he's a starting receiver today. So, but they're all here for a reason. That's why we practice the way we practice. You know, we don't look at cards and go off scout teams very often. You know, when we don't have to. We try to go good on good. We try to go against each other so that those young guys are ready. So we've got a lot of guys on practice squad that we trust that have played. We have to call them up, great. We're hoping maybe we get, you know, an Alex Erickson. We'll always they'll go through the protocols. If they're available, great. If not, you know, we'll have the next guys ready to go. So obviously Terrace, I mean, Zilstra won't be ready. Terrace, you know, is going to go through the protocol. That was a pretty big hit. And I think you guys all saw, so I don't expect that. Alex possibly, Gio possibly, but you know, those other guys are ready to play. As I've said a lot of times, like, hey, these guys are all here for a reason. They didn't come to the NFL just to be on the practice squad or be backups. They're here, and the best thing we can do is trust them and let them play.
Shi Smith, what have you seen him doing well, and are there any things you want to see him continue to progress in right now?
Yeah, I think Shi Smith has to play. That's obviously the sounds. He has to play. You know, we had him in some gimmick, you know, type roles, speed sweep, and some stuff like that last week. He'll be a true wide receiver, and he plays tailback for us too, so he'll be a true tailback wide receiver for us. You know, I'd love to see him continue to work on punt returns. You know, I think that's something he can add, you know, 5 years to his career doing. But he just got to play. You know, he knows the scheme, knows what to do. He plays fast. Just needs reps.
With those injuries at receiver, how important is it for guys like Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas to step up in production in the pass game?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys are always ready. I think we saw what Ian can do on that big play on 4th down. I think, you know, some of it's just, you know, targeting them and getting them the ball and ripping it and trusting them. So the more we use those guys, the better we'll be. We have, as you guys heard me say, I think David asked me last week, you know, I want to spread the targets around. I don't want to go in through 1 or 2 guys. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. I want a system where the ball goes through everybody. So if it gets to the tight ends, it hopefully gets to the backs. We have backs who can catch the football. We just got to throw it to them. And so I think you'll hopefully see us have some pretty good balance.
Now, what's the pecking order among those practice squad receivers?
You kind of have different guys backing up different guys. So really, like, hey, if Rhule comes back, you know, so and so would be down. You know, we have Aaron Parker, Keith Kirkwood, CJ Saunders. Those guys are all kind of available for a different guy depending on who's up. So, as you know, CJ caught a lot of punts for us in the preseason. So depending on what happens with Alex, he's available. So I think it'll be kind of a mixture of all those guys. And then, you know, tailback, we have Spencer Brown, we have Reggie Bonifant back with us, you know, which is great. So, you know, having a lot of guys like that.
You mentioned the hit that Marshall took. Have y'all heard from the league on that, or did you reach out?
No. I mean, you know, it's a football play. You know, I mean, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure the guy wasn't trying to hurt anybody. And that, you know, legal. I don't think they threw 15 on. I was just more worried about Terrace, making sure he's okay. And you know, he's up. You know, doing pretty well.
Man, how was the message received by the offense after what you said on Monday about recommitting and we're going to run the football and that sort of thing? I mean, obviously you pointed out that passing it, throwing it right now is not working as well as you guys wanted.
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously if you go to the lineman, I think everybody wants to run the football more. So, you know, that being said, it's I mean, Joe wants to run the football more. It's all the things that go into it, right? Like, if you want to run the football more, as I said to the guys, like, you have to convert 3rd downs and stay on the field. If you want to run the football more, you can't have penalties and be in 2nd and 12. So it's an overall, you know, message in the building of it's not about doing something different. It's about doing everything way better. I know that's boring. It's a little antiquated maybe, but it's what it is. You know, we're not going to turn around and all of a sudden be the Baltimore Ravens. You know, it's just not. We're not built that way, and you know, eventually maybe we will be. But right now we're built a certain way. But when we have a chance to run football, we have to. There's a stout defense we're running against. So, you know, some of our rhythm passing game is going to be really, really important. But we have to be able to run the football, and Part of that though is also we can't have penalties, we can't have drops, we can't not be there on third down, we can't turn, I mean, all those things. We had 2 times in the game, we had a first possession turnover. It's one thing if you run 5 plays and have a turnover, defense has a break, you punt the ball, I mean, the ball's been moved. When you have a turnover on the first play, I mean, that's brutal to a defense. So a lot of things have to be better. So it's kind of an all-encompassing. And the reason why I'm saying it, kind of my message is, I think sometimes even in this building, we start hearing like the same narrative of, well, the O-line's got to play better. We all have to play better. And when I say play, that's me. I mean, I have to be way better. Phil has to be better. Joe has to be better. The players have to be better. And when you have a locker room where everyone's like, hey, we have to be better, not, well, hey, this so-and-so just has to play. We all have to play better. I think you have a much better chance.
On both sides of the
This will
ball,
be the last one.
can you talk about what this Giants team does well as you prepare for them?
Well, I think first of all, I think they're built in the image of Coach Judge, who I think is excellent coach, excellent person, a guy that I really like. They play great special teams. Obviously, Graham Gano is here. Excellent special teams discipline, challenge you in all those different areas. Defensively, Coach Graham, they do a lot of different things. As we prepare right now, we really don't know what they'll do because they have a pliable, malleable defense that can attack you in a lot of different ways. Have good players on defense. Leonard Williams is as good as there is in the National Football League. James Bradbury, who was here, is excellent. I'm sure he'll follow DJ around. Jabril Peppers and many more. So really stout on defense. They take the ball away. They're one of the top teams in the NFL in terms of taking the ball away. Excellent special teams, excellent defense, and then offensively, they have a ton of skill. And some guys are banged up. No huddle system. They can be explosive. They're one of the top teams in terms of throwing the ball over 20 yards. They're gonna take shots, and obviously I've skipped out explosives the last couple of weeks. Excellent screen team, perimeter screens. They get the ball out to their skill athletes. So we're gonna have to play well. Anytime you face a team that can throw the ball deep, throws screens, has quarterback run game, has true run game, it stresses every area of your defense. And so we'll have to be excellent at all positions, because when you face a team like that, just kind of like you saw against Jalen Hurts, like everyone's playing well, one guy makes the wrong assignment, the quarterback pulls it for 50. Everyone's playing well, one guy's wrong, the screen hits you for 20 like happened to us last week. So it's a combination of a bunch of things that they do well or things that we have at times struggled with. So this is a game where, to me, we have to play our best and show the improvement. Like, okay, we've been through all these things, we've had these losses. What do we learn from them? Okay, great. It's one thing to say you've learned from them, right? It's one thing for me to say, hey, we got to run the ball more. One thing for me to say, like, does it show up? And so it'll have to show up on Sunday. It was a good first practice. We had guys who we had a couple players play 100 reps on Sunday. So we're a tired, beat up team with a lot of guys. So that's not an excuse. That's a challenge. Like, we got to get healthy right now. And so we went out there today, had a good practice. We'll change the schedule up a little bit this week to get their bodies back underneath them, and we'll play Sunday.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.